Yeah, thank you, Lad and John. First of all, thank you so much for having me, and thank you to all the organizers for holding this campaign. Unfortunately, I could not be with you in person, but I'm standing with you all with my heart. My name is Arash Rad. I'm the youngest son of Ardeshir and Vaji Rad in a family of 4. My father was one of the spiritual assembly members of the Baha'i faith of Iran. It's important to mention that the Baha'i faith is a religion not accepted officially in the Islamic Republic of Iran, so the Baha'i members in Iran are eliminated from governmental aids and services. The spiritual assembly of the Baha'i faith, which my father was a member of, has the responsibility of taking care of the daily needs of the Baha'i community, like birth, death, or any issues in the community and trying to resolve them. My father, along with one of the other members of the community, were arrested in the summer of 1984. And then, in the end of summer 1987, when he was 49 years old, was executed in Evin prison because of his devotion to the Baha'i faith and some other accusations that have gone unproven. Our family was only able to see my father a few times behind the glass window and just one time in person during his time in prison. My father suddenly was executed without us being informed of his sentence. They didn't give us his remains, and it seems that he was buried by the members of the government outside of Tehran, the city we were living in. They gave us just a few bags, including some of his belongings, and a teared up paper which seemed to be his will. I was 13 years old when my father was arrested and 15 and a half when he was executed. My mother was arrested a few weeks after my father was arrested, and she was in prison for 2 years and a half before being released a few months before my father's execution. Most of my Baha'i friends have lost either their fathers or mothers, some of them both because of their beliefs. More than 300 Baha'is have been executed following the revolution. One of the important things is that members of the Baha'i faith in Iran have no citizenship rights in any aspects. One of them being that Baha'i students can receive an education higher than high school. They are unable to attend university after they graduate from high school, and all the Baha'i students who were in the universities at the time of the revolution in Iran were expelled and could not continue their education at that time or in the future. My father was one of the members who founded an underground university named BIHE, that stands for Baha'i Institute for Higher Education, in the early years following the revolution. BIHE, which holds its classes mostly at the students' houses, have been attacked by the Islamic Guards since the beginning of the creation of the university, and some of their students and teachers have been arrested and imprisoned for many years. The students that receive an education at BIHE have been accepted in well-known universities around the world and have been offered various opportunities to continue their education once allowed to leave Iran. However, this is not the only violation of citizenship rights for Baha'is in Iran. In some cities, the students are excluded from different levels of education because of their faith. I was excluded too when I was in 5th grade, and they put a note in my file which showed that I was Baha'i, and because of this, they didn't want me at their school, resulting in my expulsion. Baha'i people still can't be granted an official marriage certificate. They can't work in government trades. They can't buy or sell in an open market. Their offices and stores are closed down in religious cities. Their houses destroyed, especially in urban cities. They can't bury their dead loved ones' bodies in the Baha'i cemeteries, and most of the time, their distinguished cemeteries have been destroyed. Baha'is can't hold their religious ceremonies and are unable to get passport to leave Iran. Unfortunately, oppositions and persecutions against the Baha'i community in Iran started many years ago, even before the Islamic Revolution, even though it was not as violent. After the revolution, these limitations, oppositions, killings, and sentences have only intensified. Other ethnic and religious minorities besides the Baha'i faith in Iran have the same problem, give or take, and second and third generations still have the same injustices. One of the most important things are that the government members inside Iran, along with its representatives around the world and in the international gatherings, always feed the media false information about the reality of the persecution and discrimination that is occurring for not only the Baha'i community, but other minorities also. I think one of the most detrimental problems in this situation is that world leaders don't take action against the violence in Iran, and most of them are still doing business with Iran simply because it benefits them and their profit outcomes. Iranian Baha'is, similar to other Iranians around the world, regardless of their religious and ideologies, are all children of Iran. They are aching to live in what used to be their home. Baha'i people, wherever they now reside, are always trying to create a better, more united, more loving and accepting world. Baha'is who are rooted in love and peace are ironically the ones being hurt the most. Thank you again, and I stand in solidarity with all of you from Los Angeles. Thank you.